Welcome to Post-Grad Games presents Worth Your Time, where we decide if a game is worth your time. As a postgraduate and somebody in a master's program, my time is very limited, so I try to play games, try to get a first impression, and try to tell you if it's worth your time, also worth your money. Today we're looking at Strider, which is by a Capcom game. It's a remake of an older game of Strider. I believe it was out on the NES. You may know Strider from such games as Marvel vs. Capcom, because really that's the only thing Strider's been in a very long time. So, the game kind of plays out as kind of a Metroidvania type of game, but it's way more linear than any of those games, and I'm going to show you. Maybe. So far, it costs... Let me just get through the basics here. It was released a couple weeks ago, February 18th. I am sorry this video took so long. Our site went under some renovations, if you will. So some of the videos that you'll be seeing are semi-old, but this game is still on sale, and it's one of the only PlayStation 4 games on sale. It's $14.99, and what's interesting is that we're kind of in that long haul wait to Infamous Second Son, because really that's the only game that comes out in... Hell? How did I get further away from my goal? Okay. Anyway, Infamous Second Son is really the only game coming up that is even remotely close to playing, wanting to play. Yes, we do have, I believe, another PlayStation Plus game coming out, and that's Dead Nation? Dead Nation, which was a PS3 game, like a PS3 arcade game. Oh, look at this, there's a boss. A PlayStation 3 arcade game, okay. Oh, Let me see if I can do this. So combat... Oh my god! So combat, very linear. Essentially, it goes through this pattern of chop, 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 run fast, dodge. Man, I just jumped right into that. It hurts you. So the first and foremost what I'm going to display here is combat, which is one button. You press the square button to do all your slicing attacks. And that's pretty much all you have. You do have a downside, and this is a couple hours into the game. You do get upgrades, but so far the only upgrades I have is that you can charge... The only upgrades that I can find so far is that you can charge your sword, which is pretty much only used to hit certain switches and to kill enemies in one hit. Other than that, I have a slide which allows you to go behind enemies, and I now just got a double jump. So how does this... there are also special attacks, which you saw me do, where I can just like summon a bird and a fly. So how does this compare to them? Well, it's a little more fast-paced.
You are very lost, stranger. Yes, you are a Strider.
There's a... So let me jump into this since you're seeing this now. There is a story, but I put that in quotations because it's not really a story. You pretty much just dive into some random country. I think it's Kazakhstan. Or maybe it's made up, but it sounds like Kazakhstan. And essentially you're there to take down some kind of dictator. I'm not sure what in the world is going on, and there's different assassins trying to kill you. So essentially it's like a ninja assassin. You're a ninja that's also an assassin, and there's also assassins that are trying to kill the ninja assassin. It's ninja assassin assassins. That's pretty much what this game boils down to.
Where is this black market?
And then random things happen giving you goals. So the main difference between this and kind of a Castlevania game in the traditional sense is that this game kind of has stages instead of just having one grand castle to explore. Yes, there are stages. So there's certain parts, you pretty much go into a stage, you get the item that you need, you fight a boss, you move on to the next section. So they're kind of like mini exploration areas, which seems to work out pretty okay. The only problem with that is that it makes it very fast-paced, and there's not a lot of backtracking, which is okay, but at the same time, it kind of takes away that exploration. The other part of it that I've noticed is that everything looks the same. Everything has this weird, drab, gray technology feel to it that I'm just not a big fan of. Not to mention, the sound is just horrendous. There's no sense of variety in this game whatsoever. you're doing the same thing over and over again, even though there are stages. Really, the challenge comes into the battle encounters, but the battle encounters kind of revolve around the same thing. You charge up your sword, you run at them, you shoot them, you dodge bullets. And you get like shurikens and stuff like that, so I imagine that makes it different, but I mean the battle system I don't see changing very much between running back, hit bullets, slice up people, you hit at them, you can deflect bullets. Pretty much just means that's pretty funny. Which pretty much just means you're mashing the square button over and over again until everything's dead. It's a little mundane. You're doing the same thing over and over again. And I say that over and over again because you're doing it over and over again. It's inducing the same kind of mundanity. These are the same enemy types I've had since the beginning of the game, and I've at least been to 3 or 4 different stages. There are these doors that I can't seem to get into, but I imagine that eventually I'll be able to get an upgrade that'll get me through the doors. What most of the upgrades do. So I'm about 20%, so I guess I've only played for an hour, and I'm about 20% done. I've only played for an hour? I don't know if I agree with that. I feel like I've played a lot more than that. But anyway, even if that's so, I'm 20% done, I'm only an hour in, that would make this game 5 hours long. That's kind of ludicrous. So that's why I'm thinking I played closer to 2 hours. If not, damn, this is a really short game. A really, really short game. So what are some cool features about this game? One, it's pretty. I mean, the character model for Strider is very cool. The particle effects are pretty nice. And this right here, being able to cling to the wall, is an awesome feature that I think a lot more Castlevania-type games, or side-scrollers, should have. Just that ability that makes you feel like, wow, I can climb all these walls, just makes you kind of feel like a badass, and adds an element to the combat and to the flow of the game that a lot of don't have. It's a very unique feature. Now, does this mean that it's worth playing? No, probably not. So far, it's pretty okay. It's pretty okay. So, is it worth $15? Probably not, but I imagine it'll go on sale eventually. Why am I going over here? That door just locked. Son of a monkey. Son of a monkey. I would probably buy it if it was on sale. Also, if you're hungry to play something on your PlayStation 4, you might want to look into this game, because there's nothing coming out for another couple weeks. Infamous comes out at the end of March. That's pretty much the next game you will be buying, if you have a PlayStation. And after that, what is there? The Order, which due out sometime in this year? It doesn't seem very comforting to know that there's not a lot of games. So essentially, if you don't mind waiting for a big budget game that might be more worth your money or time, I highly recommend it. This is a game that is trying to be big budget on low budget, which is nice. It's a fake it till you make it type of circumstance. But so far, it's just far too repetitive. Though some of the challenge is nice. There's a lot of challenge. Now, what can I do? What can I recommend if you're kind of hungry for this type of game? Well, I would personally say go play Guacamelee. You can play it on your PlayStation 3, you can get it on your PlayStation Vita, and it's far superior to this game. The story is again absent, but at least it's a very unique setting, and everything is colorful and vibrant. If you want a game in this style, go play Guacamelee. Please God, go play Guacamelee. Pass on Strider. Go play Guacamelee. Is that sad that I can say that? Now, if you've already played Guacamelee and you're hungry for more of the action, I can honestly say, yeah, this might fill that gap. Though, don't expect anything as engaging, as challenging, or as unique as Guacamelee. This has been the Cognitive Gamer, and this was Worth Your Time on Post-Grad Games. Find me on Twitter at CognitiveGamer. You could also follow me on Facebook, Post-Grad Entertainment. Subscribe to our channel, please. God, just subscribe to our channel. We need your support. I would love to be talking to my fans. If I have any fans or critics, really anybody who watches this, I would love to talk to you and get your impressions as well. I feel a little lonely. Now, I'm going to play a little bit more and kind of go into more of the mundaneness, if you want to stick around, but really that was my first 10-minute impression of Strider that I'll give you. Again, this is only about an hour or two into the game. I can do an update if people want. But like I said, I'm almost done with the game. Well, not almost done. I'm like a fifth. Ah! That was awesome.
First program complete.